Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Star Citizen. Today I'm going to give you a very brief, hopefully brief, but very, very, very basic introduction to Star Citizen. Here I am waking up in Lorville on Hurston. So if you want to start this in this place and kind of follow along with this video, that's the starting place that you need to choose. I'm going to assume that you've never played Star Citizen before. Maybe you've never even played any other game like it in your life. Okay, so whenever you come into Star Citizen, you are going to start out in a bed. Maybe a medical bed. Usually it's going to be like a bed that you are resting in. Because Star Citizen, the persistent universe at least, is very immersive that way. It's intended to be very immersive. So one thing you'll notice is that your movement keys, your movement keys may move you out of bed. They may not. It's hard to tell where to go, what to do. The key that I'm using to get this menu is F. You press and hold F and you can move around your cursor and you can select things. Okay? Beautiful. So we're out of bed. Right now these do not do anything, but you can press and hold F to make coffee, and then the coffee machine will start working. And there we go. Dirty bean water. Thank you, Jacksepticeye. And then, let's see. Oh, I'm going to press I. Notice that the camera is in front of me. So if you press I to look at inventory and you're facing a wall, then you're not going to be able to do much, right? If you're facing a wall, you press I, this is what you get. So you can't see anything. Now you can just move around the camera by pressing and holding right click and the right mouse. You press and hold the right mouse button and then you move the mouse around. That moves the camera in this free look mode. All right. Okay. So now that I got my helmet off, I can hopefully, okay. Oh, there we go. There's the sweet spot. We're going to grab the coffee and then we're going to press click to drink it. And it's supposed to have an animation. Okay. Animation's not working right now. Place the coffee mug right there. All right. So, just like most other first-person games, AWSD move you around. Control puts you in a kneeling position. A kneeling position. You can crouch and you can kind of move quietly that way. X puts you in a prone position. And then space either brings you to a standing position if you're not, or if you're already standing, space jumps. Okay. All right. F, open. Some doors will open automatically and some will not. So oftentimes you'll have to kind of find a thing to open them. Elevators, for example, will not automatically open themselves. Right now, elevators are a bit buggy. Sometimes they move people through walls when they're when the elevator is coming in and opening, and kind of grab you when the doors open. It's a little trippy. And the place you want to go is the ground floor. All right, this is Lorville. Silence is complicity. Do your duty. Report suspicious behavior. Lorville has a very authoritarian kind of bent. It's kind of a little bit dystopian, kind of an industrial wasteland city where the company that owns the planet kind of rules it with an iron fist and is very, very authoritative, tells people what to do. Let's see. If you see something, say something. It's your duty. There are threats everywhere. Oh, yeah. So that's Lorville. Beautiful place, am I right? And when you wake up in the city, if you want to leave the planet, you'll need to get to the spaceport first. The city centers are different from the spaceports. The place you want to get to in Lorville is the Metro Center. It's just from where you wake up. It's very close. All you need to do is you need to make 2 left turns, right? So you come here, make a left turn here, and here, and then there you're at the Metro Center, and then another left to go into it. Boom, basically right behind the apartments. Maria Pure of Heart, that's their hospital here. So that's where you wake up if you get hurt or die and have to be woken up here.
Welcome to Metro Center. Transfers to the perimeter, spaceport,
and make sure that you have in your inventory, make sure you have a flight suit of some kind, and make sure you have a helmet on. If you don't have a flight suit and a helmet in your inventory, and they may be hidden, so you might have to go to undersuits to get them, armor. I'm wearing the undersuit that I have here, so they may be hidden. Make sure you're not filtering them out. But if you don't have if you don't have a flight suit on, you won't be able to equip a helmet. If you don't have a helmet on, you won't be able to breathe in space. These flight suits and helmets currently have a surprising amount of oxygen in them, so you'll be able to breathe in space for a pretty good while with this helmet on. Without it, you'll die very fast. So don't do that.
stand by and let passengers disembark before boarding.
And we're going to get on the train. Lorville is reminding us that trespassing on the tracks is a serious and dangerous offense. Like, yeah, no kidding.
Trespassing or attempting to trespass on train tracks is a serious and dangerous offense.
Yeah, really? Really? You know, to tell us about how serious the offense is before you can gonna mention, oh, by the way, being on the train tracks could kill you. All right, that's Lorville for you. That's Hurston. By the way, the textures on these seats, I have been a train commuter before, and this train looks entirely believable to me. This looks like it could totally be a commuter train. Obviously not during commute hours because there's nobody on it. But this looks like a total commuter train car to me. You might expect to see that something like that in Oakland, except their trains are a little bit different. They have rows of seats instead of having just seats on the sides. But basically, yeah, the mess looks like it could absolutely be there. I love this game. All right. So then once you get to the spaceport, we're going to get out here to the customs area. You have to go through the customs area. Right now, customs is really easy to get through. Nobody asks you questions. You just go through a scanner that presumably would detect any contraband you had on you, if you had any. Not that you can really put contraband in your pockets right now. And a bunch of uninitialized NPCs. That's great. Okay. Now these are your fleet manager terminals. And this is what they look like in 3.17.1, which is the current version of the game. And this is how you get your vehicles out. Now, I have a lot of vehicles that are not here. They're stored somewhere else. I'm going to retrieve the ones that have the arrow. They're ready to retrieve. If it has a little sheet of paper and says claim, that means that you can click on that. Let's see. It means you can click on that. You can file an insurance claim in the game, which you can tell this is a fantasy because the claim just always gets accepted, and then you get a replacement. Right now, ships don't get transported. So the process for getting a ship that's parked somewhere else and the process for getting a replacement ship for one that you have destroyed is exactly the same. You click on that button and you'll get an entirely new ship. I'm going to get my rented Origin 325A. It's a nice little ship, a light civilian fighter. Hangar 03. So we're going to get to the spaceport elevator. I probably went too quickly for you to see that what's going on there. So what you're looking for is elevators to hangars. So you go in here and you see that there are elevators to hangars over there. Elevators to hangars. Great. Okay. So we're going to get an elevator to a hangar. There are a lot of elevators in this game because they want you to feel that you are actually going from place to place. They want you to feel that sense that your ship is being parked in a hangar, and then you're traveling to the spaceport, and then you're traveling to the city center. They also want that travel time to mean something. So there we are. Origin 325A, beautiful spacecraft. It's one of the more expensive starters, but it is a starter vehicle, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. I think it's a great starter vehicle for several reasons. One, it is a multi-role craft. It has an interior. It has a bed. Right now, the bathroom doesn't really do anything. Right now, the toilet doesn't do anything. The sink doesn't do anything, but it does have a bed, so you can log out from this vehicle. Okay, so we'll get comfy, and then we can turn off our headlamp. It's not letting me turn off the headlamp while I'm in bed. And you can log out from the bed, meaning that you can park it on a planet somewhere, log out, and then when you log back in, you should be in the exact same spot. Or close enough. Very useful thing to have in a starter ship. It can fight. It can carry cargo. The cargo it does carry is internal cargo, so you can put boxes in the cargo bay. Oh, we need some gas before I head out. Okay. So this is currently how you restock and refuel your vehicle. I should go through that slowly. F1 pulls up your Mobiglass. The Mobiglass is the personal computer / smartphone / communication device. So it does, everything your smartphone does and more, and it's on your character's wrist. Pulls up this nice holographic display. And this is what it pulls up when you press F1. That's right here. From here, you can go to a comm link that has all sorts of channels on it. Global chat is on here. You can manage your vehicles. So we can pull up the Aurora that we claimed earlier, and we can see the weapons that we put on it. We can change those out if we want to put something else on there. We can take a look at the systems. We can change its shield generators or the power plant or anything else that we buy. Stuff like that. Knickknacks basically keeps track of all of your things. So if you buy something, like I bought a Gallant rifle here at this station, it kept track of that. Skyline is your map of the system. The system that we're in is Stanton. You can see Hurston is kind of centrally located. Hurston and Crusader are both pretty centrally located to this system, and we can plot our courses here. MO Trader is for sending money to other players. Your contracts, here you can pick up contracts for in-game currency missions, basically, and you can repair, restock, refuel your vehicle with vehicle maintenance services. You've got a journal, which tells you about all of the things that you've done, all of the qualifications you have, all sorts of things pop up on the journal. And Delphi, which tells you about your standing with various organizations. So you can see I have done very little with Ling Family Hauling, whereas with Hurston Security, I'm a tracker, junior security contractor. I've done a few things with Hurston Security and MT Protection Services. So, yeah, there we are. Bounty Hunters Guild really likes me. Yeah, pressing F1 gets us out of this. And when you first get into your craft, it'll be like this. And you can use the F key to look around for Flight Ready. And Flight Ready will power on the vehicle. It will turn on the shields, turn on the guns, turn on everything. All right. You can keep buying this, but I'm still going to show you this. In order to get out of your hangar, you have to talk to the landing services. Go to Friends, Landing Services, and there you go. F11 is the hotkey for bringing up your communication, and it's going to be under your Friends tab. The landing services only appears under your Friends tab when you're close to a spaceport. And then move us out of here. Space moves the craft up. Control moves the craft down. W moves it forward. A moves it to the left. A yaw just strays to the left. S moves it backwards. And then D moves it to the right. And you can combine these to get complex movement. As you may be able to tell just from looking, the most powerful thrusters on this ship, and on almost every ship, the most powerful thruster is the one behind it. I'm going to press Z for free look so I can show you. So there's a very powerful thruster that thrusts in the back that pushes me forward, and that makes sense. There are somewhat less powerful thrusters, the retro thrusters, that push me backwards, that slow me down. And this is space, so you know, when you're, well, I will be getting into space in just a moment. So when you get into space, your ship does have to slow itself down, and it'll automatically do that when you let go of any key. It'll automatically, I'm not pressing anything, I'm not putting any input in, it'll just slow itself down by default. If you want to turn, this is called coupled mode. You can put it on cruise mode. Press C to put it on cruise mode. And when it's on cruise mode, it'll just go up to the maximum speed and stay there. Right now I've set the maximum speed very high. Use the mouse wheel to adjust the maximum speed. You see the I have my speed is on the left there of the screen, the left of my HUD. So now I'm moving the speed limiter down, speed limiter up. If you want really fine control of this, unfortunately, you're going to need like a throttle or something, but the mouse wheel is usually good enough. Okay, so we're going to go out of cruise mode. And we're going to press Alt-C. Alt-C brings us to uncoupled mode, where we just drift. And once we let go of the keys, I'm not pressing anything. Once we let go of the keys, then it doesn't do anything. And so you can move to one side, and this marker, you see the marker that's moving around, that little thing that's moving around the screen, that marker is showing us where the ship is flying towards. Because when you're in uncoupled mode, a lot of times you're not necessarily facing the direction that you're flying towards. So, coupled mode, your ship will come to a halt when you're not putting any input in. Cruise mode, it'll default to going forward, but you can still decide to move it to one side or the other. And uncoupled mode, where you just keep going wherever you were going. All right. Press N to pull up the landing gear.
Landing gear raised.
And you can press B to turn on quantum travel. Quantum travel is how you get from place to place. So we're going to turn that on. Boom. That's how you travel far distances in this game, is you go through quantum travel, and that'll travel very, very fast. We'll do a little delivery mission. And I will tell you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Okay, so you see when you press B, a bunch of these points come up. A whole bunch of places come up. These blue arrows, each one is pointing at a place that you can travel to. Each one is pointing at what we call a quantum beacon. Quantum beacons are the places that you can quantum to. Every planet has a quantum beacon. Every moon has a quantum beacon. Currently, there's no like wild places that don't have quantum beacons, so you don't have to worry about that yet. You'll notice that a lot of these are different shapes. And while I have found there are a few exceptions, generally speaking, big cities are going to be the Pentagon. See that Pentagon right there? That's Lorville. That's the big city we just came from. Space stations are going to be squares. Everest Harbor is a space station. That's the space station right above Lorville. These hexagons, those are little points of interest. They may or may not have any services for your vehicle. They may or may not be able to refuel you, rearm you. You can't really rely on them for that. They're not really populated centers. They may be outposts. Some of them are military outposts. Some of them are commercial outposts or industrial things. And then the little diamonds or squares turned on their sides, those are usually smaller markers. Like OM4 is an orbital marker. It's orbital marker number 4. Every planet has orbital markers in this game. At least every civilized planet has orbital markers. Our orbital marker 6 is over the South Pole. And then on the other side, we're going to have OM1. Oh. OM5. No, that's right. I forget. I was wrong. OM1 is over the South Pole. Or OM1 is over the North Pole. OM2 is over the South Pole. And OM 3, 4, 5, 6 are all around the sides. Let's see. Where is orbital marker? You'll see a lot of these points are on kind of a disk. They're on kind of the same plane as each other. Oh, we're at OM1. Duh. Okay. So OM1, that is our North Pole. So we're right above the North Pole right here. And if we look through the center, we should be able to see the red one there is OM2. Now it's red because it's obstructed. Specifically, there is a planet in the way. So I can't go to that one. Orbital markers, quantum beacons that are on the surface are different. So these hexagons, some of them are solid, some of them are dotted. The dotted ones are on the other side of the planet. And those, if I were to go to one, my ship would automatically go all the way around the planet to get there. We're going to go to this one. HDMS Pinewood.
Quantum drive activated.
So I activated quantum travel by holding down B. The B key on your keyboard controls quantum travel. You press it once to activate the mode or to deactivate the mode. You press and hold when you're calibrated and aligned in order to go there. And then we exit quantum mode. There is a cooldown time, which gets longer the further you went with your quantum drive. All right, we're going to exit that mode. We're going to get into cruise mode. You can see we have to travel 22 kilometers. Really not that far in a spacecraft. And you can see on the left, my speed limiter is a lot higher than what my actual speed is. That's because we're in atmosphere. Atmosphere is slowing us down. It gives us a maximum speed that we usually don't have. It lowers how fast we can go. It is important to know that when you're controlling your spaceship, your key presses don't activate thrusters. They sort of tell an avionics system where to go and which direction you want to go, and it uses that to control the thrusters. We're going to press N to lower our landing gear. And we're going to go slow. I said slow. There we go. 15 is a good speed. And we're going to land. Okay. Double check. We've got our spacesuit on. It doesn't matter on Hurston, because Hurston is a place where you can breathe without a spacesuit, but I always like to just have it on, just in case, so I don't forget when I go to a planet or a moon that does not have breathable atmosphere. Looks like a windy day on Hurston. Of course, since the new patch came out with all of the weather, there's been a lot of weather on a lot of windy days. So I think in the next patch they're planning on lowering that down. But they've been testing the weather, testing the wind, so that's totally fair. It is good to remember that Star Citizen right now is extremely early access. And if you buy the game, they will give you this very, very early access, but it is going to change. This is technically an alpha test environment. Let's say, is that real water? No, that's not real water. Okay. It is technically an alpha test environment, and there are going to be bugs, and there are going to be changes. And if that's a deal breaker for you, then I recommend do not play this game yet. If you like it and you really like what you see, you can buy a copy of it and you can support it that way. That's great. But if being in a test environment where there might be bugs and where things are definitely going to change in the future, if that frustrates the heck out of you, then stay away. On the other hand, sometimes I think it's kind of exciting to find a new bug and report it, or find that they're working on it. I think this is a fun game as it is, and I can't wait to see how much better it gets. Okay, this box is being frustrating place. No. I said place. There we go. So we're going to place it on the cargo elevator. Boom. Ooh. Uh-oh. That's not good. So glad I talked about those bugs. Because one of them just came up and it injured me. I don't know if you noticed that, but I just got injured. I'm bleeding. And I didn't bring any med pens or anything, so I can't stop myself from bleeding out. Yeah. So, well, that's kind of an apropos finish to this Star Citizen walkthrough or tutorial. But there you go. That's Star Citizen for you. Sometimes it just randomly incapacitates you, and I'm just gonna exit the menu for that. So thank you, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this tutorial. I hope hopefully I'm helping somebody to get into the game and to know what's going on and not feel bad when random bugs just pop up and totally just change what you're doing. All right. Thank you very much. Fly safe, and I'll see you in the verse.